I mean, we need points, right? We had we'd like to have them all, but at the end of the day, we went into some real tough buildings, really tough buildings, and I like the way we played and for most of it, and a couple of periods here and there, but at the end of the day, I like the effort. I love how we're kind of staying in games and competing and doing the right things to gain points.
Yeah, obviously we would have liked to win tonight and be 3-1 going home after the road trip. 5 out of 8's good, but we're desperate for points right now. We need to win them all, and so it stings. Usually you're happy with a point at the end of a road trip in a tough building like this, but that one stings for sure.
Hey, welcome everybody to check-in, the final check-in before the Olympic break. The Jets are hosting the Montreal Canadiens. That was Scott Arniel and Logan Stanley after the overtime loss to the Dallas Stars. And I don't know about you, Sarah. There's a lot of differences between this year and last year, but one that stands out to me the most is the Jets playing overtime. And I don't want to say puck luck, but I think it probably count 4 or 5 times this year where they've had a great chance to win the game and then the other team goes down and wins it. That's what Scheif has that breakaway.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop. And then Thomas Harley scores in the other way back. It's crazy how this is all happening to the Winnipeg Jets in overtime this year. They've lost 8 straight games that have gone past regulation. Unheard of.
Yeah.
In say 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy on the plus side. I'm happy that they are getting to overtime because for the longest time this season, what did we look at? Teams like the LA Kings that were getting at least that extra point. You think about how different it would be if the Jets had gotten some of those bonus points. Or loser points earlier on in the season, but they did come up short in Dallas, 4-3 overtime loss, but they did grab a point. But as we heard Logan Stanley say, obviously, they need those points. They're desperate for them right now, but they come into tonight, 1 game left. And I've already seen people in the chat talk about it. Obviously the final game for the Winnipeg Jets and the Montreal Canadiens before the Olympic break, one of 10 games on the schedule tonight, and looking forward to a great one here at Canada Life Center. And we always talk about the final game before a long break, whether it's the All-Star break, whatever it might be. And how sometimes, have players checked out? Are they already thinking about their next or their vacation or what they're planning to do? I think it's great that this is going to be a game against Montreal because the atmosphere in the building is always good when the Habs come to town. And so there is an extra energy going into it. It isn't just the doldrums of going, okay, well, this is one last game on a Wednesday against, an Eastern Conference team that isn't doing well, or same thing, a Western Conference team that is out of the mix.
Yeah, the opponent will play a large role in this, and Montreal Canadiens fans, like Leaf fans, although way less annoying than Leaf fans, travel very well, and of course, lots of course in the city here as well. So I agree with you. The atmosphere will be great. So there'll be that extra oomph to get to the end, to the deadline, or to the Olympic break, hopefully in winning fashion. Because I think you've heard numerous people over the past, after the game in Dallas and again today, they liked all their game outside the first period in New Jersey and pretty much nothing in Tampa Bay. But other than that, they played very well in some really tough buildings in Florida and Dallas. So there's the sign there, and then hopefully you can go into the break with a win here over the top of the Montreal Canadiens, who are well entrenched into a playoff spot right now.
Yeah, sitting third in the Atlantic Division. Looking forward over this next half hour. We're going to have Elliot Friedman join us. He's going to be headed off shortly to Italy as part of the broadcast crew over there. Dan Robertson's going to join us. We're hoping again. And then I had the opportunity to catch up with Josh Morrissey as well and talk a little bit about heading over to the Olympics. Obviously, he has worn the Canadian flag and represented Canada at a number of different international competitions, but never before at an Olympics. And he's very excited for it. So we'll catch up with him as well.
Especially when there was a 14-year gap.
That's right.
And he said today, and I don't know if he said in your interview, but he said today he never thought he was going to be able to play in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome that this is happening. So again, it's Nino Niederreiter, Josh Morrissey, the 2 Connors. Will be going to Italy on Saturday.
Yes. Okay, let's take a quick look at what the standings are for the Jets, what scenario they are looking at tonight going into this game. 9 points back. You think of some of the points that they've been able to get in recent games, and they just have not, with everyone else continuing to win, they just haven't really been able to close that gap much. So still sitting at 9 points back, or at
7-3-3 in their last 13 games. And it made up 2 points.
Yeah. So it is a difficult hill to climb for them. But I also think that, I'm so fascinated to see how everything happens when teams come out of the break. The teams that have had a number of players go to the Olympics and play potentially marquee roles for it. Those that we often talk about how this is an older roster.
Yeah.
A lot of players are banged up. We've seen that across the league.
And how much Olympic hangover? There's going to be Olympic hangover probably.
But could the break also allow people to get healthier? Because when they come back, my goodness, it is an absolute gauntlet in March. It is every other day.
I think every Tuesday in March is a home game. There's 8 games in a row.
8 games in a row, but it's every other day. They have one, or they have 2 between the February when they come back on the 25th and the end of March. They have 2 2-day breaks. Otherwise, it's every other day. So
we're all going to be busy.
That's right. You're going to be so tired of
us. Enjoy the break while they get it. And there's some great hockey coming up, obviously, at the Olympics. But it's very similar to me now where because the Jets were starting to play well before the Christmas break. And then I know the results weren't there. They were playing well coming out of that. So that rest will be huge for a lot of people. Cole Perfetti won. There's a lot of bodies that need to be healed over this next little bit. But you've touched on the fact that there's going to be a lot of hockey played for the guys that we just talked about on this roster that are going to Italy. That's a lot of hockey in a short amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Morning skate for the Jets happened this morning, and it was a full complement of players that were out there. It was a day off yesterday because it was a travel day as they returned home from Dallas. It's funny because I was talking to a number of people or staff, various people that were on that trip, and they said it was really good, but the weather, not quite what they were hoping for. Every time you see the trip to Florida, you think, oh, this is going to be great. And it was quite chilly, but they're happy to be home for this one. If you look at what the lines were like this morning, this is what the projected lines are going into tonight's game. Or you take a look at it there. A reminder, Winnipeg 12, 10, and 5 on home ice here at Canada Life Center so far this season. Montreal, though, has played very well on the road. So these players, when you look at the projected lines, will have their work cut out for them tonight. What do you like about what you've seen? Because it looks very familiar.
Yeah, it does. And I think the favorite trio has to be Perfetti, Lowry, and Velarde. And it's so important that Cole Perfetti continues to improve. He's touched on numerous times how long it took him to feel normal after the high ankle sprain. I think we're starting to reap the benefits of that again, like the last time. It is Lowry and Velarde, the bigger bodies, getting him the puck. He scored for the second time as many games. The power play got a goal in Dallas, which has been a problem as of late, or it hasn't been as efficient as we're used to. So I will hang my hat on that second line right now because of how well they play together in a short amount of time.
Oh, and just like that, the third line.
Yes, I will not discredit. John Taves did do a great job. Yes. Yes.
So afterward, you can go and listen to all of the scrums as always on the Winnipeg Jets website. But this was Scott Arniel speaking about facing the Montreal Canadiens tonight.
What did you learn about how you need to play against Montreal in that first meeting?
Yeah, you know what? That was a good game. Obviously, they're real quick. They're real fast, especially on transition. They get some top-end skill throughout their lineup, and we had talked about going in there. We had seen some games. I had been at the Ottawa game the night before, and Ottawa did a really good job of trying to just stay over top and slowing them down. We're going to have to do it again. You know, we see these teams that they can really go. They got a back end that's healthier than when we last saw them. They got people that are coming, and it isn't just Hudson. They're all in the rush. So it's about us again, our mindset, our ability when we don't have the puck, that we got to work just as hard to be over top of people, working to get back and making sure that we're eliminating those chances. We can do it too, the opposite way. And I liked our road trip. I thought we played fast against some of these real good teams. We got out of our end quick. We transitioned off neutral zone turnovers quick, and that's what we need to do against Montreal. We got to force them to play in their end of the rink a little bit more than they want to play in our end of the rink.
So a continual theme with the Montreal Canadiens is that they play with a lot of speed, and they're always attacking. So both Josh Morrissey and Adam Lowry on the other night said that you just can't feed into their transition game. So not turning the puck over in the neutral zone will be huge for them. Getting the puck in, making sure to get the puck behind their defensemen, as I just touched on a little bit. Because if they get any chance of a turnover in the neutral zone, their speed will wreak havoc on the Jets today. And so it'll be about the patient game that Winnipeg has. That has been, we've seen a lot of it over the last 2 games. It'll be huge against the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, youth and speed. two things that the Canadiens have, and their young players have obviously been contributing a lot this season too. This is the second and final meeting between these two teams. The earlier meeting was a shootout loss for Winnipeg at the Bell Center in December. When you see these two teams play, I mean, because we only see it twice a season, what is it overall that strikes you most about matchups typically between these two clubs?
Just a lot of action. The games against Montreal are always fun to watch. There's like so much stuff going on because of that speed and because of the talent that Montreal has.
And there's always carryover from the Canadian division.
Yes, yeah, always. Yes, so, saw each other so much, and still even to this day that still trickles over. But I mean, you look at Nick Suzuki's having a great year, going to the Olympics. He'll be a teammate of Josh Morrissey's for Canada. The one problem that Montreal's had, and I was speaking with one of their media members, is just goaltending has not been consistent for them. Sam Montembeault has been a shade of his former self that went to the Four Nations face-off last year. Dobish has been up and down. He's getting better, but if Montreal starts getting the goaltending even a little bit of improvement, I mean, look out. Just hopefully it doesn't start there tonight.
You know what? I feel that, do you think that we've talked more about goaltending this season than we have in some others? Because I feel as if there's a number two. I mean, Ottawa, you look at some of the success they've had. Okay, but they just need some goaltending. I just feel as if a number of teams right now, obviously we know.
Well, Detroit and Buffalo are in playoff spots based a lot on the fact that they're finally getting goaltending.
And then the number of teams that you have seen that have struggled with it, where you go, they would be, in theory, in the playoff spot, but they just haven't been able to get any goaltending. I just feel as if it's been a continuous theme that we've seen so far this season.
This theme of the show is jealousy.
Oh, wow.
And envy, because there are people doing things today that are this weekend or coming up in the next couple of weeks that I would love to be doing. I don't want to speak for you. I would love to be going to Italy. Our first guest is going to Italy this weekend. It is Elliot Friedman. Buddy, listen, not often I'm jealous of you, but I'm jealous of you and your assignment.
I was gonna say, as you were doing that intro, I was like, I've never heard this before, and certainly never from Sara, I would say.
Yes.
I'm always jealous of you, Elliot.
No way that's true. No way.
Okay, so we want to know, before we get to the real meat and potatoes of everything, have you started packing already?
Nah, you know what I've started doing, Sara? I've started piling things that are going with me. So does that count as packing? You decide. I've started piling things.
You've started the process.
I've started the process. You see, I've become as I've gotten old and cranky, I've become a very process guy. You worry about this, then this. So my eyes are on the trade freeze today. Yeah. So I'm not packing yet, but I'm piling. Let's go with that. I'm piling.
Okay, in that vein though, Elliot, are you like a heavy packer, or are you like a very just so good at it, like a Ken Weeb? Let's just go with that.
Why am I surprised that Ken Weeb is not the biggest nerd packer ever? I'm not surprised by that at all.
I can ask Ken. I go, Ken, 7 days. Here's the locations. This many games, and he'll tell me exactly what I have to bring, and it's like a 5-second response. He's like faster than AI.
Impressive, very impressive. No, I'll say this: I have really improved. I used to be a big overpacker, and now nobody ever wants to check a bag ever, right? So even though for this one I've become a much better packer, and I've learned really good tips. Let me tell you. Let me ask you guys a question. What is the best way to pack a belt?
In your shoes?
No.
Oh.
No. Because if you wrap it into a big circle, it takes up room, right? Okay. So one of the tips I learned was the best way to pack a belt is take it and put it around the outside of the interior of the suitcase. So I don't use cubes or anything like that. That's cheating, and we don't believe in cheating. But I've learned things like that. You open up your suitcase, you put the belt around the exterior of the inside, and I'm much better at that. I'm a much lighter packer than I used to be.
See, I used to always joke that I loved, back when it was with TSN and when TSN still had a national package, I loved being on playoff series with Mike Johnson because he was a heavy packer. Whereas when Cuthbert was doing play-by-play with us, he was always the smallest carry-on. And it used to make me feel so self-conscious over the fact that I had these big bags behind me. So it was great when MJ was also going, because he and I would be the two that would have to go check in. And Cuthbert or Gord Miller or whoever would just kind of wave and go, all right, We'll see you guys on the other side of security. We're not waiting for you, schmucks.
Well, first of all, we would always wait. That's one thing. It's like
Yeah,
I'll tell you. I'm not gonna say who it was, but there was one guy who joined Sportsnet once, and he came from another place, and I'm not gonna say where it was. But it was one of those flights where a bunch of us got upgraded and some guys didn't. So we got off the plane, and he did not get upgraded, and he was like, I don't know where it was, 37E with no reclining seat or something like that. And he got off the plane. We were all waiting for him. He looked at us like we were in shock. He was in shock. And he goes, what are you doing here? I go, well, we were waiting for you. He goes, not where I came from. We're all gone by now.
There'd be a text message. Good luck getting to the hotel.
We'll see you later.
Good luck submitting that Uber all by yourself. Congratulations. Yes.
Hey, before we get to serious stuff, soup has become a big conversation on this show. So
don't ask.
We don't have time to get into.
I just see I've got this Rena Alicia soup choice going into the Olympics.
Yeah. Do you like soup?
Yes, huge soup guy.
Oh, well, fantastic. So first off, we already love that. What would be your top soup choice if you could choose?
Well, I've always been a chicken soup guy, but my wife makes a great beef barley soup.
Oh.
Yeah, so not beef, but just barley, excuse me. She makes a great barley soup. So I would say either one would be acceptable to me.
Okay.
Excellent.
You're number one in the fan chat already on that one. Beef and barley or any type of barley soup has been very popular. Okay, trade freeze is coming up today before we go into the break.
Check my phone.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yeah. Is anything going to happen before this deadline at 2 p.m. Central?
I'll be honest, Jamie, I'm kind of like focused in on one guy, and that's Panarin. It's kind of like the big name. And, I have to tell you, there has been so much manure flying around on this one. Anytime you get close to a trade deadline, you always have to be careful what's true, what's not. You hear a lot of things. There's even been more than normal on this particular case. And, I'm supposed to be this fantastic insider that knows exactly what's happening. I don't have a great read on this one. I think Panarin's looking for a lot. He's looking for somewhere between 45 and 50 million. I think he's looking for one of the better tax states. I think he's looking for a full no move clause. I think he wants to find a place where they've got a center he really likes. And it's what it's like. It's like filling out a dating profile, and I want the most beautiful person with a structurally perfect face and in great shape and makes $10 million a year. And, I want a pony for Christmas too, but you don't get everything. So, I think that he's really aiming high, and I think, honestly, I'll be honest, I just don't know how to handicap it. I think Washington's still in there. I think Carolina's still in there. I get really mixed messages, guys, on the Florida teams. I know there's a lot on social about Tampa being in, but I've had people disputing that. For a while, I was looking at the California teams, and now I have people disputing that. This has been one for, and I think in some cases that some of it has been spread as a pressure tactic, which I think happens from time to time. Yeah. Like maybe if a team that he likes hears this, we better up our offer, or we better put more in our extension plan. So it's been really difficult to consider, but I think Carolina's still in it. I think Washington's still in it. I think that the Florida teams, I get varying degrees of whether or not they're still in it or not. And but I still think he wants an extension. So at this point in time, that knocks out teams like Colorado and Dallas.
Once the freeze goes into effect, obviously Olympics first and foremost then at that point for you. And there's going to be so many questions about the roster leading up. And I know that you did something with David Amber on it, updating, what replacements have gone in or what question marks still occurred. Do you believe that when it comes to Team Canada specifically, that they will wait until the last minute in order to deal with some of the question marks that surround that roster?
I think that, obviously with Sarah, they knew he couldn't play, right? So, with Braden, when any time you look at a situation like this, you say, okay, they knew that Cirelli couldn't play, so they made the change. With Braden Point, it's pretty clear that they want to wait as long as they possibly can before they make that decision. Now, their last game tomorrow is against Florida, and they've already said the Point won't play it. So I think, and the other thing that I do know, Sarah, is that not only Canada, but all the teams were calling all their injured guys over the last few days and saying, we need you to level with us. We cannot have you coming. We cannot have you coming to the Olympics at, say, 90% and being down at 50% after the regulation round. So I think they're going to wait on point as long as they can, and then they'll make their decision. But like Landeskog is a go now. I think even though Jack Hughes, they announced he won't play tomorrow. I think he's going to be at the Olympics. Marchand is not playing tonight, but I think he's going to be there. I don't know of anybody else at this point in time who they legitimately don't think is going to be there. I think they'll wait as long as they can on point. They fly out on Saturday.
Buddy, appreciate the time. Got anything else for him before we let him go?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, he's very busy.
Yeah.
No. We're all plugged. We're all slaves to these things now. Okay, if you got one or two more, I'm good.
Please.
Yeah.
One more for you. So looking at Canada and the United States schedule at the Olympics coming up, it looks like the Americans have a lighter schedule in some aspect. Does that favor Canada in some ways? Because you kind of get right to it because they play Czechia, they play Switzerland. They'll have a little bit more lightweights for the Americans. Do you think that favors Canada in some ways because they get right into it rather than having a couple easier games to start?
Well, people ask me questions and they get frustrated because I never answer them directly. And here's going to be another case. Like, I don't worry about the preliminary round.
Right.
We've seen Canada win 2 gold medals where they didn't win their preliminary round. And so I don't really worry about it. Like, the one thing about Canada's schedule is, like, I think the one of the more terrifying individual players that you're going to see in this tournament, and I think Canada is very lucky they're getting him right away, and they don't have to worry about him in let's say a quarterfinal, is Dostal from Czechia.
Yes.
Like, if I was another team, I do not want to see that guy in the quarterfinal. Like, I really don't. So I think it benefits you because I think what you learn is what your flaws are, right?
Yes.
And you get a runway. And I think Canada's proven in the past that they know how to use that runway well. So I like that.
All right.
Okay.
Have a fantastic time.
Yeah, man.
Good luck
Seriously.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we can't wait to watch.
We need to see if you have 2 suitcases or not at the airport, so please send photos.
Well, no. I'll tell you, I have one, but they sent one already ahead with our suits in it.
Deb's the best, isn't she?
Oh, the queen.
Yes.
The queen Deb.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Have fun.
Have
All
a
right.
great time.
Take care,
over there.
Sarah, Jamie. Great to see you guys. Take care.
Thanks so much, Elliot.
Elliotte Friedman. Deb Berman is talking about the clothing. She's amazing. The best.
That just gets lots of love and lots of props from him. All right, let's keep it going.
Let's keep rolling.
Keep rolling. Bring him in.
Dan Robertson, the voice of the Winnipeg Jets, joining us on 5G. How are you doing, my friend?
I found some Wi-Fi. Please tell me you can hear me this time.
Most importantly, can you hear us?
Yes.
I can. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened the other day. It was just one of those things. So I appreciate you trying again.
Hey, what are you going to do over this next little bit? Are you going to chill for a bit? Are you going to go to get some sun, or what are you going to do? Because you didn't get any sun in Florida.
No, that was funny. It was record lows, which is funny. You see people walking around with winter hats on and scarves, and it was 10 degrees Celsius at some point. And I'm walking by in my shorts and t-shirt, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy. No, I'm going to go to Mexico for a week, and that'll be on Saturday, and then I will spend a little time in Nova Scotia.
Good.
Yeah, hoping the 3 weeks doesn't fly by, but we'll make the most of it.
Listen, that road trip, when they left to go on, it looked like a gauntlet in terms of the opponents they were playing. Did you get the sense that they're in a good place right now in terms of their style of play and looking comfortable? And I'm speaking of sense, of course.
I think so, Jamie. If you just look back to how it started, it was a poor first period against the Devils, but then they sort of outskilled the Devils, and they played the way they had to play against the 2 Florida teams. And the Lightning are just so good that they strangled the Jets once they got up 2-1, and then once it was 3-1, you kind of knew Winnipeg wasn't going to be able to create much. But Scott Arniel talked about playing a different style of game. They can't run and gun with anyone. So that, to me, that'll make for an interesting matchup tonight because the Canadiens like to skate. But the Jets, they try and limit the chances against, hope for good goaltending and maybe some opportunistic finishes on chances on special teams and to get a big goal when you can. It was was obviously disappointing for them that they lost to Dallas, clearly, although they did get the point. I mean, where we sit in Dallas is a lot closer to the ice surface than in other places, and you're kind of in the crowd. I could really feel like I thought it was a great pace and a really intense game, and I always like when those two teams play, and it's just, different things happen during a game, and if Scheifele scored in the breakaway, then, the narrative would have changed and they would have gone 3-1 on the road trip. So I think, I don't know if they've turned a corner 100%, but they're playing much better, in my opinion.
What have you seen from Cole Perfetti over this stretch, Dan, that you think has allowed him to have some of the success that he's had?
Well, I believe it's getting his nose dirty. And I said that, I asked Scott Arniel that earlier in the season, does he have to get his nose dirty? And he said, well, that's not really his thing. But to me, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, it seems when he's more engaged, and I don't mean he has to steamroll people, but when he got hit the other day in the Florida game early, and I think he might have bumped his nose, and you can see him shake it off, but I think it got him engaged, and
Yeah.
that's been kind of missing for me. And I know there's talk about the high ankle sprain and that sort of thing, but to me, he's kind of shied away from areas where when he was successful last year, he was going. But you can see a guy like Cole in his body language and in his demeanor when he's not scoring, and then when he is, you can kind of see the chest puff out a little bit. So I really like the finish. He didn't hesitate on the goal where he was set up. I guess it was Velarde on the power play. There was another chance where he came in. He tried to force a pass through to Adam Lowry in the Dallas game, and I kind of wished he would have gone up top with that. But he's more confident. I guess that's the short way to say it. And you hope that the rest will have a lot of people. You hope he's one of them. And I'm really interested to see what he can do tonight. And I like that line too, right? Because they've got some guys who can hang on to the puck like Velarde and allow him time to get open, and Adam Strong on the puck. So I think it's kind of an interesting line they put together.
There's been so much focus, of course, on the usual suspects, Scheifele, Connor, Morrissey, and Hellebuck. Gabe Velarde is on pace to score 30 goals this year. I don't think, we give him a lot of credit, but I don't think we give him enough credit for the ability to be able to help multiple lines. And in this certainly in this instance, the second line.
Yeah, I was talking with Adam Lowry specifically about Velarde after the morning skate in Dallas, and I said we can see how he can tip pucks and how he can roof it from inside in the power play, although teams have taken that away from him as of late. But I said, what about his ability to hang on to pucks and extend shifts? He said, exactly. And Arnie said the same thing too. His body positioning, like it's not just his hands, but he'll go after pucks along the end boards or along the sideboards in the offensive zone. And you might think he's out of it. He'll reach and get it back, and he's able to shield the puck and just buy time for guys to get open. He's one of those guys, and I know it's been a while now, but when he was a King, you kind of looked at it, you thought, okay, he was a first-round pick, and you look at him out there, and he's not all that dynamic of a skater. The goal totals were okay, but then when you see him over the course of a few years, you really appreciate what he can do, and those skills of keeping offensive zone time intact by hanging on to pucks and buying time, and of course the magical hands. There's a lot to like about his game.
Just quickly, obviously there's the game here tonight, but looking ahead, you come out of the Olympic break, you've got a number of players, vast majority of the league, that have been able to have a couple of weeks off, maybe heal up. Marquee players will have played a whole lot of additional hockey plus time changes and everything. What is it that intrigues you most coming out of when you look ahead to think about the Winnipeg Jets coming out of the break?
Well, I was speaking with Adam Lowry about this the other day too, and he said, I'm going to be napping for most of March. He said, and it's no joke. Like, he just smiled and shook his head. Like, any chance he gets, he's going to have to take a nap. They all are. It's such a sprint, right? And I mean, we're all looking forward to these Olympics, but it's altered the schedule so much that it's kind of changed the hockey for me this year. So I'm anxious to see Perfetti, to see Taves, to see anybody with lingering injuries, and probably everybody has them. They always do. But guys who aren't in that tournament, can they come out of the gate really quickly when they face Vancouver to start that Western road trip on the 25th of February? So, and then if there's somebody, if Hellebuck, say he's outstanding at the tournament, can he bring that back to the regular season with the Jets? So it's such a complex season, and by the time we get to the end of the playoffs, guys, I don't know it's just a battle of attrition. I mean,
truly,
whoever it is, those last two teams, they're going to be gassed. But you know what? That's we're all excited about the Olympics, but there is a price to pay that way.
Buddy, appreciate the time. So glad everything worked out.
Don't forget your sunscreen.
Yeah. And
Can you believe I just lost my microphone?
but we can hear you, buddy. So
See you guys.
see you, Dan. Dan Robertson joining us from Montreal. Yeah.
Battle of attrition, as always, when you get to the end of the playoffs in any year, but especially in this year. Speaking of the Olympics, quickly before we go, Josh Morrissey, I caught up with him just a short while ago, and he is, of course.
Did you ask him about the Olympics?
Could you imagine if I didn't?
Yeah.
Like so.
So what are you doing? What are you doing?
That's cool.
What are you gonna do the next 3 weeks?
Yeah, exactly. Going anywhere?
Yeah.
Should have started like that.
I know.
Here I am with Josh Morrissey. One game left before the Olympic break. You look at this game against Montreal. How do you view going into this one? One game at home and against Original Six. I think that should also bring maybe a little bit of energy into the building.
For sure. I mean, obviously, we've been playing well lately, and we're trying to climb back in the standings and kind of scratch and claw to pick up as many points as we can. And so it's a huge game for us in that capacity. And then obviously, whenever an Original Six team is here, it's a lively atmosphere. Jets fans and Canadiens fans will go back and forth, and they're a great team. They're obviously young with a lot of speed and skill, and they're playing great hockey. So, it's going to be a fast game and one that we really need.
Not that we don't want to emphasize tonight's game, but obviously the Olympics are the hot topic going into this. How much are you looking forward to getting on that plane and going over?
Yeah, obviously, focusing on the task at hand today, like you mentioned, and then afterwards turning the page. I'm really excited. I mean, just, growing up, like I think on the outdoor rink, dreamt of scoring, the Stanley Cup winning goal or Olympic gold, winning Olympic gold, and obviously the golden goal in 2010 kind of spurred on some of those overtime thoughts on the outdoor rink. So, it's just to be able to represent your country at the Olympic Games is something I guess was a dream, but maybe never thought would be a reality in my life. So, especially with NHL players not always being there, so it's a real pleasure and honor, and I just can't wait to get over there to represent Canada and my family and everyone that's helped me in my career.
Does it feel a little bit different with it being the Olympics? I mean, you've represented Canada on a number of occasions on the biggest stages, but with this being Olympics and the players that are on the team, I mean, do the emotions feel different this time going in?
Yeah, I mean, it's the Olympics. I think, obviously 4 nations or World Championships or different tournaments, obviously it means a lot. It means a lot within the hockey world, but going to the Olympic Games is, it's the largest sporting event in the world, and it's the most global event that there possibly is. So, it's special, and just something, you think about the history of the Olympic Games, it's pretty crazy. So, for me, I'm just really excited to have that opportunity and be able to, like I said, represent Canada and go over there and do everybody proud. But it's special, and I think too the element of being at the event with all the other athletes. We're, like I said before, we're always at hockey events, and just this opportunity to be in the village with the other athletes and kind of feel that Olympic energy. I think people that I've talked to that have been to Olympic Games just talk about that feel that there's so much energy around the village and the host city. So excited to experience that.
Okay, so are there other events? I don't know what the time frame is going to be like for you, but if you had the opportunity, what other events would you like to go take in?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved watching both the summer and winter games. In Milan, I think there's speed skating and figure skating as well as men's and women's hockey. So, I mean, I'd love to be able to watch the women's team play. Obviously, support them. But then also, I've heard that short track speed skating is really exciting live. So that'd be something pretty cool. I'm not sure if we'll have an opportunity to or not. And obviously, we're going there to focus on what we can do to be at our best. And it's a short tournament, but if there's opportunities, that would be cool. And like I said, short track's supposed to be pretty exciting and chaotic, so that'd be kind of cool to see.
Hey, can't go wrong sometimes with chaotic.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks so much for the time. Wishing you the best of luck over there, and can't wait to hear all about it when you get back.
Thanks, Sarah.
Okay, so first off, great interview. Second of all, the comments on the side about Josh and the support he's getting from Jets fans, you guys are the best. Honestly, I feel the same way. It was awesome watching him at Four Nations, but I will have the same pride that you guys will have when the Olympics start, because it's a different animal.
Yeah.
100 times over.
You throw a Canadian flag on anything. And
this is the coolest one.
It absolutely.
And the answer about short track speed skating is the best.
That's right. It's chaotic. It was like, I mean, the chaos of it, for sure it can be. So I hope that he has the opportunity to be able to go take in some of the events as well. Also in the comments, a lot of people commenting on the sweatshirts that we are wearing. And I love the word snazzy. That's totally a word that I would throw out. These crews, all crews actually, all crew necks for today only 30% off. So you can either get them if you are coming to the game or at your Jets gear stores.
Okay, that's a good
Can't
deal.
go wrong. Yeah, 30%. There are so many great crew necks right now available in the store. You and I talk about that on a regular basis.
And again, warm.
That's right.
Too toasty inside. Yeah.
Which we love. If you are coming to the game tonight.
Very important detail coming up here.
Yes, it is a pet food drive. So the wives and girlfriends of the Winnipeg Jets have teamed up with the Winnipeg Humane Society. You know the connection between this team and different, whether it be shelters or societies, that they are very big on animals. We know how much they love their dogs and cats. So if you are coming to tonight's game, please, if you have the opportunity to bring a wet or dry food item that will be donated to the Winnipeg Humane Society. Here's a little more on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey Jets fans, at the game on February 4th, we are teaming up with the Winnipeg Humane Society to help animals in need.
Bring pet food to donate at the game for your chance to win a Jets Pets prize pack. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you at the game.
Every time I see puppies, you want to buy another one and bring another one to the house. Then you like the hair. I can go down the list of reasons why. So if there are puppies on the concourse tonight, I am not going down to look.
It's probably best in that case. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
we do. Okay, so that is a wrap for us. Again, the final game of the Winnipeg Jets schedule before the Olympic break goes tonight here at Canada Life Centre against the Montreal Canadiens. It should be a great atmosphere.
Yes.
Jets obviously looking to close this one out with 2 points as they try to continue to climb their way back up into the standings. And then we will all be watching Olympic hockey and the Olympics in general, I'm sure. But we will not see you again until February the 25th. How incredible is that when the Jets...
We're going to be so rusty when that comes back.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, what will we do to...
I think I just might steal this shirt first.
What are you going to do with a break from me for that many weeks? Yay. Jets play 3 games when they come back, starting in Vancouver. So that'll be a late game. So they'll just throw Jamie right back into it.
Yeah.
With that late start.
We will go off the rails right away on the 25th.
But of course, it is a 6 p.m. start tonight, early start. So take note of that. Winnipeg Jets looking to close this out with a win. 30% off for crew necks at Jets Gear Store. And that's it. That's all.
And go Jets, go, and go Canada as well at the Olympics. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks so much, everyone, for checking in.